Start with the map. Domains and objectives connect directly to daily decisions. Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI-DSS, asks you to protect data, harden systems, manage access, monitor continuously, and prove it with artifacts. Those aren't siloed goals. They reinforce each other. If access is right, logging becomes clearer. If change management is strong, configuration drift shrinks. If third-party evidence is captured at procurement, assessments move faster. On the exam, the right answer is usually the one that names a routine plus its proof, an access review with samples and revocations, a change ticket with signed gates and digests, a vendor claim paired with an attestation and a place you store it. See each objective as a decision your organization makes every week, and you will pick options that age well. Scope logic is the skeleton you use every time. Data, paths, trust, and controls form boundaries. Say it aloud before touching options. Which data types are in play? Which paths move them? Which trust zones border the cardholder data environment? Which controls separate or surveil those borders? If card data enters via a web page, the page, scripts, and delivery chain matter. If data sits only in a token vault, the merchant scope shrinks, but configuration and monitoring remain. Trust is never assumed. It is declared with segmentation proofs, inventories, and diagrams that match reality. Controls become believable when their evidence already lives somewhere specific. In stems that mix actors and environments, your scope sentence prevents you from fixing the wrong layer and guides you to the choice that respects boundaries while keeping assurance intact. Data definitions are the heartbeat. Know what the words mean and what they forbid. Cardholder data includes the primary account number and, when present, name, expiration, and service code. Sensitive authentication data must never be stored after authorization. Rendering unreadable is not a slogan. It is encryption, tokenization, truncation, or hashing applied correctly and proven with keys, policies, and samples. The exam loves small traps, logs that accidentally echo full numbers, screenshots and tickets, or backups left out of the encryption plan. Your best move is always prevention first. Mask fields, block dangerous log patterns, redact by default, paired with proof you can sample. When you speak data clearly, you pick answers that make leaks unlikely and detection loud. Think of encryption, tokenization, and point-to-point encryption, P2PE, as complementary exposure reducers. Encryption defends confidentiality during storage and transit when keys are governed well. Tokenization removes the sensitive value from the merchant systems. Validated P2PE shrinks merchant handling by encrypting from the point of interaction to the processor inside an assessed solution. On the exam, prefer designs that minimize live sensitive data where you operate, then surround remaining flows with key management that shows generation, rotation, escrow, and revocation under dual control and split knowledge. Strong answers connect the method to its artifact trail, key ceremonies, token vault logs, device and chain validations, and change records that keep those protections current across releases. The system hardening quartet network, configuration, access, and monitoring turns policy into day-to-day control. Networks prove segmentation with test results and allow lists. Configurations prove baselines with exports and golden images. Access proves least privilege with reviews and revocations. Monitoring proves vigilance with alerts, tickets, and preserved logs. The assessor lens expects you to bind each control to evidence that is small, dated, and retraceable. So you read stems asking for what to do next as what to do next that leaves a mark. When two options tie, break the tie with the one that names an artifact type, log, ticket, approval, digest, report, and states where it will live. Pick habits that survive turnover and holidays. E-commerce deserves its own reflex: scripts, supply chain, and tamper detection. Lock scripts with allow lists and sub-resource integrity hashes. Enforce content security policy, CSP, with reporting. Keep a current inventory so changes are intentional and reviewed. Monitor the live page for unexpected beacons and DOM mutations. Ownership is explicit. Who approves a new script? Who generates the hash? Who reads violation reports? Who can revoke a third party quickly? The exam will try to tempt you with trust the CDN answers. You'll favor choices that pin versions, produce CSP reports, and route changes through tickets. The better answer sounds like a recorded process, not a hope. Incident response, lessons learned, and continuous compliance share one rhythm: detect, contain, fix, recover, and record the truth as you go. Evidence lives in tickets, timelines, preserved logs, memory captures, approvals for emergency changes, and notifications that met contractual clocks. Lessons become control updates and micro-training. Compliance becomes a calendar of recurring tasks with owners, backups, and proofs. On stems about what now, you move toward actions that buy time without destroying evidence, then toward fixes gated by quick approvals, then toward recovery with staged checks, then toward reviews that change something concrete. The right answer will never be declare victory. It will be declare what changed and where the proof is. Third-party oversight is shared responsibility made legible. Contracts must promise controls. Attestations of compliance must be current and in scope. Evidence handoffs must be defined. Reviews must be on a clock. In choices about vendors, you lean into certificate plus contract plus sampling. Certificates communicate scope. Contracts bind behavior. Sampling proves practice. When a question tries to absolve operators because a badge exists, you bring it back to deployment duties. Configure as documented, monitor continuously, keep within supported versions, and store artifacts the assessor will ask for. Your instinct stays the same. Trust is earned by paper trails and living checks. Program overlays matter. The Software Security Framework, SSF, PIN Transaction Security, PTS, Personal Identification Number, PIN, and Card Production Standards connect upstream assurances to merchant obligations. SSF outputs become your secure software and patch intake proofs. PTS listings map to device selection, custody, and inspection evidence. PIN rules anchor crypto, keys, and tamper handling for PIN capture. Production standards translate to custody, reconciliation, and destruction records at bureaus. You do not operate those factories, but you must read their claims, collect their artifacts, and tie each to how you deploy, configure, and monitor. Exam stems reward answers that map badge, obligation, proof. Testing methods keep lies small. Segmentation tests show isolation. Penetration tests validate assumptions. Approved scanning vendor, ASV, satisfy external vulnerability scanning. Vulnerability management closes findings on a clock with retests attached. The pattern repeats. Decisions turn into proof. You expect a scope statement for the test, a dated report with severity and evidence, tickets linking fixes, and a clean retest. When options offer scan more versus close with evidence faster, favor closure with evidence. Volume without validation is noise. Sampling with retests is assurance. Exam tactics remain your multiplier. Anchors are scope, evidence, and ongoing assurance. Timing is a steady first 10 gate and a block check every 10. Mark and move protects solvable items. Final checks clean up flags and blanks. Translate flowery answers into plain claims you can audit. Distrust extremes unless the standard is absolute, and decide scope before any control. Your second pass reads easier because your anchors trained your brain to look for traceable behaviors. If you keep this routine, you will turn uncertainty into points without drama. A smart taper brings the best version of your preparation to the screen. Set a 72-hour glide path of light review and rest. Day 3, skim your accountability map and artifact where it lives notes. Day 2, replay 10 short scenarios aloud and stop. Day 1, read your anchor sentences and walk away. Sleep on time, eat predictably, and pack what you need. You are building clarity, not cramming facts. Confidence is the memory of procedures you trust. Close with commitment and a micro-habit. Schedule your official exam date and start daily 1-minute recalls. Pick a random control, say the scope sentence, name the artifact you would expect, and point to where it would live. That tiny drill keeps your assessor voice warm until test day. When you sit down, you will already sound like someone who can explain what changed, who approved it, where the proof lives, and why the choice satisfies the payment card industry data security standard, PCI DSS. That is lasting mastery and the surest way to a clean pass. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit BareMetalCyber.com.